Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be continuing my coverage of the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade, this time taking a look at the off-road oriented XRT Pro. Now if you guys haven't been subscribed or following along with my 2026 Palisade videos, make sure you guys subscribe and check some of those out that are currently posted and or coming up here in the very near future, including the hybrid availability, production updates, all the different trim levels, including side-by-side comparisons, and the list really does go on. But today I'm excited to take a look at the XRT Pro because I think Hyundai finally did the XRT trim level correctly, not only in making it much more off-road capable than that of the standard model, but also just the packaging and features that are included with the XRT in comparison to that of the other trim levels. The XRT now sits between the SEL Premium and the Limited in terms of price point, where before it was much closer to that of the SEL and SEL Premium. So they added features to this one over that of the SEL Premium while also taking away a few things. So a little bit of a trade-off, but of course this one is the off-road oriented model, gets unique suspension tuning, unique wheel and tire setup, and of course the rear differential, which should help in the off-road capability department as well. But anyways, let's not waste time. Take a look at this XRT Pro, see what it has to offer for just over $51,000. So the Palisade XRT in front of us is finishing the classy blue exterior with the black H-Tex synthetic leather on the inside. Now, classy blue is one of the new exterior colors to the lineup from that of the last generation, much lighter than that of the former Moonlight Cloud, if you guys are familiar with that color, but it's definitely not too light, not too dark, has a good amount of metallic flake that sparkles here in direct sunlight. And you guys will have to let me know what you guys think of it down in the comment section below. Now, the XRT is only available with the black H-Tex interior, so if you're looking for the gray or some of the other colors, you will have to stick to a different trim level, but overall I think this is a very sharp looking vehicle both inside and out. Now immediately from the outside you can tell there are some significant cosmetic differences versus that of say an SEL, a Convenience, a Limited, or even the calligraphy. So starting up front, you do get the same lighting setup and lighting package, although the finish for the daytime running lights and headlights are going to be slightly different. So these are going to be your daytime running lights and turn signals in the half mirror type or the dark tinted housing, with your LED projector headlights both low and high beam just inside that. You have a little bit of the dark chrome that spans across the top section of the grille, and then down below this is going to be a medium gray finish for the rest of the front grille, which surrounds the front recovery tow hooks. Now coming in a little bit closer, you can see you do have front, rear, and side parking sensors, 360 surround view camera system mounted in the front of the grille there, and then the two recovery points both in the front as well as the back are functional and hooked into the unibody or the frame of the vehicle, so you can actually use these, pull on the vehicle, and really not worrying too much about damaging anything as far as that goes. Now there is the location for the camera. This does have the dark tinted black Hyundai badge, which is still the flat design. It just blends in much more with this darker exterior paint. And there is going to be a running light assembly that spans across the two headlights themselves. So when the headlights are on or the running lights are enabled, that will illuminate for darker or nighttime activities. Now coming around to the side profile of the XRT, the differences in terms of cosmetic continue on. So of course you get unique wheel and tire setup. This one has the matte black plastic trim around the lower section, although there is a little bit of gloss black that is blended in just to spruce it up and make it look a little bit more premium of that of just standard black plastics. And then you do get things like gloss black mirrors and gloss black roof rails, which we'll cover here in just a second. So coming into the wheel and tire setup, this is going to be an 18-inch satin black with machine finished alloy wheels specific to the XRT. You do get the XRT center caps. It is going to be wrapped in an XRT specific 255/60 18-inch Continental cross contact ATR all-terrain tire. So this is obviously going to be tuned to on-road and off-road capability, much more aggressive than that of the standard all seasons that you'll find on the rest of the lineup. And then behind the wheel and tire setup, you are going to find a small suspension lift, which is noticeable versus that of the other trim levels. The XRT gets unique cladding here at the bottom side of the doors. Gloss black mirror caps with your LED turn signal integration. The cameras are going to be located on the bottom for that 360 camera system. Mirrors are going to be heated. Blind spot detection are not power folding and are not auto dimming. Unfortunately, those are some of the features that you are losing from the SEL Premium and that of the Limited, but you do have Hyundai Digital Key 2.0 with proximity entry on both of the front door handles. They are finished in a satin black. Then coming to the side profile, you can see a lot of those enhancements and changes over the rest of the lineup, including the gloss black trim for the roof rails and the trim that wraps around the front of the windshield and the side profile. All the pillars are going to be gloss black. You do have the standard smaller power sunroof, not the panoramic type on the top of the vehicle. So you can see the pillar out back, instead of the shiny silver, is going to be all gloss black. So it gives it a much more seamless look here on the side profile, I think. But again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And then out back, you have full LED lighting once again for your taillights, and running lights are in this section. The amber LED turn signals are integrated just inside of that. And then down below, you do have the LED reverse lights located on the rear bumper. You can see there is the rear recovery points, as well as that same silver trim in the center section of the bumper, as well as a little bit of gloss black in there. XRT Pro badge here on the left side of the tailgate. You have a satin black or matte black around the license plate instead of the body color or gloss black. The badges are going to be the satin black as well. And then your third brake light and rear window wiper is going to be tucked underneath the spoiler. So as a whole, I think this particular XRT looks quite impressive, and at least has the aesthetics and capability to match that versus that of some of the XRTs in the past, which had, of course, for the Palisade, 20-inch alloy wheels with the same all-season tire that you would find on the other trim levels. I think Hyundai definitely took this much more seriously than they have in the past. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one's equipped before jumping onto the inside. So take a look at the window sticker. The XRT Pro now sits squarely between the SEL Premium and the Limited trim level in terms of features and packaging. However, it doesn't share all of the same features as either of those two trims. So of course, you get the XRT specific electronic limited slip rear differential for the H-Track all-wheel drive, 18-inch alloy wheels with all-terrain tires, front and rear recovery points with an integrated factory installed rear tow hitch. You get the smaller power sunroof, H-Tex synthetic leather with heated and ventilated power front seats, but nothing for the second row. So no heated or cooled seats for the second row. Digital Key 2.0 Premium and the Bose 14-speaker premium audio system, among a host of other options. Now this one does have a few additional accessories, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $51,535. So take a look here on the interior of the XRT. All of them will have the black H-Tex synthetic leather on the inside. So if you're looking for gray or some of the other colors, you will have to stick with other trim levels within the lineup. Now coming to the driver's side door panel, most of the materials are going to be identical to that of the SEL Convenience or some of these other trims, with just a few small XRT specifics. So up top, you have the soft touch material with the accent stitching, a slightly nicer soft touch for the armrest with ambient lighting located behind it, power windows, mirrors, and locks with both of the two front windows being fully automatic up-down. No power folding mirrors, and you can see the door handle pull as well as the window switches are finished in the black, which differ from that of, say, the SEL Convenience, SEL Premium, or even the Limited. So if you're looking for the dark materials on the inside, the XRT is going to provide that. A little bit of additional bottle storage, and the XRT is the first entry-level trim to get the 14-speaker Bose premium audio system. So if that is a feature for you, this will be the entry trim level to get that. Coming to the driver's seat, fully power with two-way power lumbar. They are going to be heated and ventilated once again, perforated, unique stitching or pattern, I should say, here on the backrest portion, as well as the XRT embossed in the headrest. And then coming to the dashboard, you can see mostly identical with just a few small trim changes. So here in the interior of the XRT Pro, obviously this is going to have the same overall design language, technology, feature set, and screens versus that of the other trim levels that I have showcased, but there are several small tweaks for the XRT just to make it kind of unique and stand out from that of the other ones. Now in front of the drive, you have dual 12.3-inch digital cluster and infotainment screens. It is controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel. We have the kind of standard screen, including your speedometer on the left, tachometer on the right. This vehicle does have the blind spot view monitor, given the 360 cameras on the outside. In the middle, you have the configurable portion of the screen, which currently has the driver assist systems on it, which is going to show the actual lane dashed markings on the roadway if you're driving on one that does have them. Now scrolling down, you do have the next page, which brings up your XRT specific off-road pages, which I think is a cool feature for Hyundai to really integrate and showcase some of the capabilities of this vehicle. So you have pitch and roll here on the left side, digital speed readout, and then over on the right, you have oil temp and transmission temperatures, as well as the current all-wheel drive, including your steering position and things like that in the middle. Now, cycling through one more time brings it back to the regular trip information with fuel economy, all of the usual stuff that we are used to there, tire pressure, digital speed readout, and then pressing again, you have your navigation, which can be put up here in terms of your turn-by-turn directions. So there are going to be obviously specific elements to the XRT for the digital cluster, which we'll showcase throughout this video. Coming back to the steering wheel, this is a leather-wrapped steering wheel that is going to be heated and has unique perforations on both the left and right-hand side. I really do like that. Some dark black trim at the bottom, including the black 4 dots for Morse code in the middle. You have the standard driver assist, including smart cruise control, lane follow assist, forward collision avoidance 1.5 on the left. On the right, you have audio multimedia, programmable start button, and then the paddle shifters for the 8-speed torque converted automatic transmission on the back. Of course, your forward attention assist for the driver assist systems, automatic headlights with auto high beam assist, and then you do have the regular intermittent wipers on the right side. And then below that, you do have the gear shift selection for the shift-by-wire gear shift. And then you can see at the very end, this is actually a darker finished trim piece versus that of the other ones that are going to be bright silver. It is haptic feedback and design. So when you shift into reverse, it will actually vibrate this end portion of the gear shift and let you know that you are shifting into reverse. Now to the left of the steering wheel, you have your gauge dimming, power trunk, engine stop start on off, dedicated tow haul mode, electronic parking brake, and traction control off, manual tilt telescopic steering wheel. See no heads-up display on this particular vehicle, but we do have that Bose 14-speaker audio system, and then coming through to the main infotainment. Again, 12.3 inch in size, CCNC navigation, so it does have built-in navigation with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Sirius XM, AM, FM, USB, Bluetooth inputs, and immediately can see on the screen you have a dedicated off-road pages, which will bring up very similar information to that of the digital cluster, including pitch and roll, your current four-wheel drive and terrain mode, if you have that selected, battery voltage, oil pressure, transmission temp, oil temp, engine temp, and you can scroll over even here to see different camera views for the 360 camera system, including as you drive forward at very slow speeds. It will fill in and allow you to see through the vehicle to see exactly what is underneath and what you've actually driven over. And then you have your compass with elevation and longitude and latitude over there. So really cool things. And then of course you have all the normal stuff, including the trailer menus, phone projection, weather, different Hyundai Pay and other apps you can use for CCNC vehicles. Does support over-the-air software updates, and overall, I think it's pretty impressive some of these smaller items that Hyundai has included with this vehicle. Down below, 2 AC vents. We have your automatic vehicle as well as your drive terrain select mode. So we have all the same modes as the normal all-wheel drive, so snow, mud, sand for terrain, and then eco, normal, sport, and my drive for the regular drive modes. All physical hard touch buttons, but you can see it is finished in this darker material versus the other trim levels. Dual zone automatic climate control for the front seats with a third zone automatic for the rear occupants. Over here we have hill descent control, parking sensors on off. Our 360 cameras can be activated via that button as well. Heated and ventilated front seats for the front occupants with your heated steering wheel. Unfortunately, nothing for rear seats, but we'll touch on that in here in just a minute. 12-volt power outlet down below with additional cargo and storage. This is all nice soft touch kind of textured material with USB-C charging and data ports, up to 100 watts for the charge only ports combined. And then this is the trim that you get in the XRT, is kind of similar to that of some of the other interior that I have showcased, with your wireless charging pad and Hyundai digital keypad in the center console. Here's the new proximity key fob, which, not a huge fan of this, but does have built-in remote start. 2 decent sized cup holders, and then you do have the regular opening center armrest with a little LED light in there, and the rubberized textured soft touch on here as well. Up top, you have the Bose 14-speaker tweeter grills finished in the dark material versus the bright silver. This is all black soft touch or semi-soft touch headliner material, LED vanity illumination, auto dimming interior rearview mirror without garage home link, Blue Link SOS, overhead LED lighting. There's the single power sunroof controls, and you just get the normal smaller sunroof rather than the dual pane for the limited and calligraphy. So that is basically going to be a look here at the front seat of the XRT. Let's go ahead and take a look out back. So take a look at the second and third rows of the XRT. Materials are going to follow through for the most part. So starting out here on the door panel, all of this is going to be the soft touch upper. You have the soft touch padded armrest and the side portion. This is going to be the hard touch plastic in the back. But you do have the manual integrated side shades, the black door handle and window switchgear with bottle storage and cup holders. And then you do have the safe exit assist notification right here. So when that system is active, it will kind of illuminate this light up there. And then the XRT only comes with the 7-passenger captain share second row seat. So if you're looking for the bench seat, that is not available with the XRT. You still have the same textured or pattern here on the backrest portion. And then stepping inside, you do have a very easy step in height given the door opening and the ride height of this vehicle. There's a quick look at the center dashboard. In terms of rear seat amenities, we have 2 USB-C charge ports, the 115-volt, 150-watt wall outlet in the center console, additional storage in this pull-out drawer right there, mat pockets, and then up top on the headliner, we have LED lighting, AC vents, microphones, and there is the third zone automatic climate control with no heated or ventilated captain chairs via these blank buttons right there. So unfortunately, none of those nice rear seat amenities for XRT, but that is kind of traded off in terms of some of the other capability and elements that they do give this vehicle. You guys still have the ratcheting armrest, and overall pretty nice spacious second row seats, as you can see, with plenty of room. The seat's not even it is all the way back, but this seat is a little bit farther back than my driving position, but I still have, you know, 5+ inches of leg room and plenty of foot room with headroom to spare also. Now taking a look at the third row, you can either use that button up top or the button on the bottom portion of the seat will kind of retract forward just like that, and you can gain access to the larger third row for this new generation. So stepping inside, it's not the easiest step in height, but it's not the worst either. Pulling the seat back will provide a decent amount of overall leg space. You can see it's just barely brushing the portion of my legs there. And in terms of amenities, we get USB-C ports, speakers for that Bose audio, hard touch plastics with additional cup holders, large windows and side glass, as well as overhead AC vents, LED illumination, and that is pretty much going to be it. But like I mentioned in my other Palisade videos, the third row is more spacious than it has been in the past, but it's still not probably a place that I would want to spend more than maybe a couple hours on a road trip or things like that as a full size at all. But kids would probably find this decently comfortable, and of course does recline with the seat back and the straps on the back side. So that's basically going to be a look here at the inside. Let's go ahead and take a look at cargo capacity. So take a look at trunk and cargo space. Behind the third rows, of course, this vehicle does have the hands-free smart power liftgate if you choose to use it. And behind the third row seats, you're going to find a little bit more cargo area than that of the outgoing last generation Palisade. On the left side, you have the 12-volt outlet. You can fold down the second row seats via these buttons on the left-hand side, but of course cannot put them back up because they're not the fully motorized type. Subwoofer for the Bose premium audio system, and you can see this side is laid down due to the accessories, but if you're interested in doing that, it's basically one push here, just give it a little bit of a nudge forward, and it will automatically collapse all the way down if the floor mats were not in the way, and you can see the amount of cargo space with the third row seats down is very immense. Now underneath the floor, you can stow the cargo cover, which this vehicle is equipped with. You can see right there, you have the roadside toolkit and the jack. You can also lower the spare tire down from inside that storage area also. And speaking of the spare tire, underneath the vehicle, you will find that temporary spare tire. So if you're looking for that or need it in any situation, that is going to be located on the underneath side. But overall, good amount of storage space with the third rows up or down. And then coming to the passenger front seat, materials obviously are going to be the same, and you will have a fully power passenger seat with two-way power lumbar, heated and ventilated, of course. There's a look at the dashboard. You get a little bit of XRT exclusive graphic right there, and then ambient lighting up top. Storage with your glove box that is illuminated, and of course cannot fit the owner's manual in here, which I've mentioned throughout many of my videos. A little bit of a bummer there just due to the SD card reader provisions for the calligraphy trim level. Let's go and pop the lid so it powers this particular vehicle before wrapping this video up. So under the hood of every XRT, you're going to find one powertrain available, and that is the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 paired to an 8-speed torque converted automatic transmission in a standard H-Track all-wheel drive. This engine puts out 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. And if you're coming from the outgoing 3.8 liter V6, you're really not going to notice the couple of horsepower and couple of pound-feet of torque less output from this vehicle, and it does tow the same 5,000 pounds with the factory installed trailer hitch as that of the other Palisades. Now, if you're looking for the all-new hybrid, unfortunately, Hyundai has not made that available with XRT, so this is the one engine and powertrain that will be available, at least for the 2026 model year. So that's going to do it here for this full walk-around tour on the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade XRT Pro. If you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful, make sure to hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, make sure to stay tuned for additional coverage I have coming, including production updates for the hybrid, the SEL Premium, the SE, and the SEL, which I know some of you guys out there are waiting for, and unfortunately, without spoiling too much, you're going to be waiting at least another couple months for most, if not all, of those vehicles I did just mention. But in terms of the XRT Pro, I think Hyundai actually did the XRT right this time around versus almost every XRT previous to this vehicle. Now, yes, the 2025 Santa Cruz got some nice enhancements. The 2025 Ioniq 5 got a decent improvement for its XRT, but I think this one is by far the best XRT package yet. With the suspension lift, the all-terrain tires, the limited slip rear differential, which should add some serious capability for the H-Track all-wheel drive, And then you throw in the features and packaging, which is the biggest reason I think that this one is exceptional from those other ones, is because, well, you get heated and ventilated front seats, the Bose 14-speaker audio system. Yes, you lose some of the rear comfort and convenience features, but you know, if you're only a single person or, you know, married, you don't need all of those creature comforts in the back seat. I would rather have them for the front occupants, and Hyundai seemingly came up with that idea as well in the way that they have packaged this vehicle. So as a whole, in terms of that, I think that this one is packaged pretty darn well and now priced between the SEL Premium and the Limited, almost squarely in the middle, not quite, but it's about $2,500 cheaper than that of the Limited, which, you know, with a few additional accessories does put it over $51,000 including destination. But for the low $50,000 price point, I think it has most of the things that people are going to want, especially if you do want or need that additional off-road capability. So let me know what you guys think of it. If you agree or disagree, down in the comment section below. But with all that being said, I appreciate continued support and I hope to see you guys in the next one.